Hello everyone and welcome to Quick Reviews first episode. This is a semi-regular feature that will be appearing in this channel. Semi-regular because in the past couple of weeks my books have been coming in a little bit late. So I don't really have time to do a weekly pull video without, kind of having it recorded on Saturday and then going on and doing comics and beyond on Sunday. So I just don't want to, put way too many videos too close to each other. So whenever that happens, I'll show my weekly books in comics and beyond, and in this feature, I will do the reviews, the commentary that I can't do over in Comics and Beyond without, stretching that video a lot longer than, I would like to have it be, which is pretty much be around 30 minutes or less. So quick reviews will, just show up whenever I need to, whenever that happens, or I feel like doing a review on older books, storylines, maybe a few trades that I might think are worthy of sharing. Um, so before we get to the two books that I got this week, that's also important to note. It will only be new books I'll be reviewing, not back issues that I get, you know, on a weekly basis, or I get with my weekly pull. Like I said, sometimes I will review an older issue, even you know when even though I might do a review of the books on my weekly pull list. I would usually be like I did a couple of times before, some retro review of some older story. Anyways, you will also find in my blog um, a much more in-depth review of the new books. So down in the description below, I will either put the link to my blog or to the specific reviews that I have up at the time the videos are on. If I don't have a review up yet, for example, if this week, I do a pool a pool a weekly pool video, and I don't have the reviews up yet, you know I'll put the link to the blog and you can check it out later and see what's up. I will usually post reviews throughout the week. I won't put all the books in one post, or it'll be several posts that will be going up in the week. So anyways, to start with what I got first, as I mentioned before, Superman Wonder Woman has been the best book I have read so far this year, January. So of course that's going to change throughout the year, but I really, really love this issue. It's two stories in one issue. Charles Soule decided to sort of split the issue in half. So the first or lead story, which is 12 pages, continues the main plot of the series, which is the whole thing with Zod that is being building up to since issue one. This issue also features the first in continuity appearance, full appearance of Feora. She had a few cameos a few months back in the Villains Month books, particularly with the Zod issue. We also saw a Feora in Action Comics Annual number 2, but that was sort of like an alternate version the character. So this is the um, in continuity version of Feora. So that's very cool. And the second half of the issue, which is a 10-page story, actually deals with basically, what we get in the cover. The secret is out, as the world finds out that Superman and Wonder Woman are dating. The art for this, I forgot to mention, the artist for the first half is regular artist Tony S. Daniel, and the backup, or I guess you wouldn't say backup, but the second story is by Paulo Siqueira. So it's very cool art. I love it, and probably that second half was my favorite part of the whole issue. The reactions to the world finding out about the romance was it's fun. In fact, this is a very fun issue. It's not too serious. There's nothing too serious about it. In many ways, just enjoyable. And uh, thinking a bit about the whole Zod thing with Feora, there is a sort of I guess, romance theme going on, as well as you'll find out narrating this issue. So there's some romantic underlinings going on here. So as well as the action. So yep, Superman, Wonder Woman. Best book I've read so far this year and this month. So this was the only book in my regular pool. So like I mentioned in the I think I mentioned it in Comics and Beyond this past Sunday. I always enjoy some those slower weeks, because it gives me a chance to try new things that I'm curious about, that I hear, and always looking for something different. It also allows me to pick up a few more back issues than I would usually pick up. I don't always pick up back issues, depending on the load that I have of books. So this week, or last week, to be more precise, Dark Horse Comics released Skyman number 1. Skyman number 1 is also, I guess, the official debut of Dark Horse's full-on superhero line that they are calling Project Black Sky. So with it, they actually debuted with this whole new trade dress and all. So I was very curious about Skyman. I actually, Sleepy Reader 666 said he might be picking it up. I was curious about it a bit, especially because of what I've been reading online. It's very small promotion for Dark Horse's superhero thing. But last week before the issue came out, Phil Cap did a bit of an interview about Skyman over on Newsarama. Fred Valand actually did an interview on CBR for the upcoming Project Black Sky one-shot, I think, that they're releasing on Free Comic Book Day. So I was curious to get into this alternative to the big two superhero lines. So Skyman is in many ways a spin-off of the Captain Midnight book. A previous version of Skyman debuted, I believe, in issue 5 of Captain Midnight, which wasn't a very heroic debut, as I understand it, as Skyman fought Captain Midnight over New York City and pretty much killed people. So pretty much this issue starts off with that link between Captain Midnight and the new Skyman. So there's like an opening scene with the previous Skyman, pretty much revealing the existence of Project Skyman, which was created after Captain Midnight disappeared. It also turns out that the disgraced Skyman is a bit of a racist. So because of that, they decided to recruit somebody else. Um, in fact, called Eric Reed, a former, I believe he's a Marine, or he's a pilot or something like that, who got crippled in that mission. In fact, he has a spine injury. He can't move from the waist down. And they recruit him to be the new Skyman because every other available replacement is, a white guy with blue eyes, blonde hair, and that wasn't really looking too good after the previous Skyman just blew up, and he got, as always, with the phone camera, just killing people and spouting racist slur. So they decided to go a different way, though some of the people involved in the project aren't very happy about it. um, so it does carry a heavy weight on the race card throughout the whole story. Sometimes it's there, in the surface. Sometimes it's just a little more subtle. And that kind of sort of weakens a bit the story, just a bit. It does have very interesting story element that has it does have the potential to be a good story. Uh, there are a few little subplots there, or some plot points that uh, are quite intriguing about the truth behind Project Skyman. One of the reasons why Eric Reed was recruited to be the new Skyman is because he's a cripple. So this new costume sort of has this high-tech remote control, so the suit can be controlled remotely. So on the one hand, like on the one hand, they can actually control Skyman so he doesn't deviate from the mission, but they can actually, and when he does go out of control, they pretty much can control him by just shutting the suit down. The other is because he's basically crippled, so apparently that's an advantage for the people behind Project Skyman, as they might be hiding something, and having a crippled person there won't interfere with whatever plans they have, that or secret mission they have, or whatever. In fact, it seems that the whole theme is explained here, which says they tried to make a perfect weapon, but they got a hero instead. So that alone makes it a very interesting story. Art-wise, though, it's okay, but it is at times very undefined. Figure works are undefined. There's a lot of shading at times, so it could be better art-wise. But overall it's enjoyable, and I'll be picking up the next issues, and to see where this story is going. A final word on this issue, though, is for it's a number one issue, as it should be done. It's pretty much, you get a full story here. You get the hero's origin, you get his debut, you get everything. right here. Everything you need to know, you get it here. Um, so you know, so it's a really great first issue because especially with even if it's a short story arc, sometimes they would stretch the whole thing. So in traditional, you know, mainstream comic telling, they would take 4 issues to just tell this one whole, or six issues just to tell, what's going on in this one issue. So, it's not just a story about, this new Skyman and his origin, but, there's more to it. So you get everything here. Um, so yeah, I'll be picking this up and see where the story goes. So, thank you for watching the first episode of Quick Reviews. And as always, check out the link below to see a much more fuller uh, review, much more in-depth review. And well, I'll just end up as I always do. Until next time, keep smiling.